Good day, everyone. Today, Engineer Lisiges and I will be presenting goal number 3, which talks about how the schools can guarantee safe and protective spaces for children. I will be discussing the first 3 on the list that you can see on your screens. 1. Classrooms in general. 2. Inside the classroom. And 3. Facilities aside from classrooms. Engineer Lisiges will then follow, and he will be discussing the 4th point on the list, which involves disaster risk reduction management. Let's start with classrooms in general. Your classrooms have proper ventilation and lighting and enough space for 45 to 50 pupils. A school building shall be properly oriented, that is, properly placed with regard to air currents, natural light, and heat from the sun, utility of the plant and grounds, and most advantageous display. The proper orientation of school buildings aims primarily to minimize direct sunlight inside the classroom and to maximize the entrance of breeze or air currents into them. To achieve that, there are certain design requirements to be followed. For proper ventilation and lighting, the window openings shall be equal to or at least 10% of the floor area of the room, provided that such opening shall not be less than 1 square meter, except those in toilets and baths, which shall be not less than 1/20th of the floor area of such rooms, or not less than 240 square millimeters. And then we have the ceiling height. The ceiling height of rooms with natural ventilation shall not be less than 2.70 meters measured from the floor to the ceiling. Rooms with artificial ventilation shall have ceiling heights not less than 2.40 meters. Classrooms should also have enough space for 45 to 50 pupils. In your screens, you can see the ground floor plan. Your classrooms, facilities, and premises are regularly maintained and kept clean. It is the duty of the school head or principal to enforce the rules on proper care of educational facilities such as cleanliness and orderliness of classrooms shall be maintained at all times. Proper garbage disposal shall also be practiced. Next is inside the classrooms. In the classroom, of course, there are desks and chairs. Your classroom desks and other furniture are sized to the age of the pupils. In the case of shared desks, each pupil has enough space to do seat work. The Education Facilities Manual talks about the importance of good seating, since learners usually spend a significant part of their time in school in a sitting position. The Bureau of Elementary Education has conducted an anthropometric study regarding the seats and desks that are being used by the department. Your classroom's layout and furniture allow pupils to interact and do group work. You can see on your screens a proposed classroom seat arrangement by the department. However, the manual states that the seating arrangement of the pupils or students shall be flexible depending upon the needs of activities of the class. Last one for inside the classroom is your classrooms have a bulletin board or a corner that displays helpful materials. As provided for in the manual, the bulletin boards and tack boards, as well as charts, may be placed on the walls at the sides or at the back of the room. They shall also be placed at the same height as the chalkboards. The last section that I will discuss is facilities aside from classrooms. First, under this section is your school has a library for reading and for study. Every elementary or secondary school with enrollment of 500 pupils or students and above shall have a school library. It shall be situated in a quiet and pleasant surrounding and shall be more accessible to intermediate and secondary classes. The school library shall include a reading area. Aside from the school library, there should also be a classroom library. The classroom library, as an extension of the school library, shall supplement and stimulate further use of the latter, but never to replace it. Next is, your school has facilities and equipment for recreation and sports. The manual provides for guidelines for playground facilities. Playground areas shall include any or all of the following space components. 1. Open grass areas for group games and other group activities. 2. Paved areas for court games, circle games, hopscotch or pico, dancing, and other games, as well as simple activities requiring marching. And 3. Equipment areas where the different types of playground apparatuses are provided for developing or improving muscular coordination. The equipment area shall be provided with the following playground apparatuses like slides, swings, seesaws, tuning bars, climbing structures, and horizontal ladder. For athletic facilities, the manual has provided basic requirements, but I will not get into the specific details. What is essential to note is that the manual states that school children in all levels shall be required to participate in organized games and athletics. Hence, there is a need for schools to ensure that there are facilities that may cater to that specific need of the learners. The last one is, your school has sufficient lawn space and vegetation. Under the manual, the front area in a school site is usually developed and improved to constitute the school lawns. Lawns shall be graded, landscaped, and drained. They shall be sodded and planted with low-growing border plants and ornamental shrubs to give maximum visual effect. Fruit-bearing trees are discouraged to grow in the front or side areas of the school buildings, as this may cause distractions and accidents to the school populace. The manual also provides that a planting plan be prepared when a school beautifies the school site with ornamental plants. The plan shall provide a master guide or pattern for the planting to be done. I encourage all school heads to check page 71 of the Education Facilities Manual for the guidelines to be observed when making the planting plan. I am done with my part of the presentation. Now, I will give the floor to Engineer Lesiges for the discussion on disaster risk reduction management.
Good day, everyone. I will now be discussing disaster risk reduction management to achieve the goal of guaranteeing safe and protective spaces for our learners. First is, your school should have safe facilities in place to address hazard threats. What are the examples of this? Classrooms and other buildings should have fire exits. Also, there should be a fire extinguisher placed in a visible and easy-to-reach location. The manual also provides that periodic inspection and maintenance of electrical equipment and installation is necessary to prevent risk of electrical fire. Second, your school has identified and prepared alternative learning spaces in cases of emergencies. Third, your school has adequate emergency or first aid kits that are readily available. The manual provides that first aid kits must be available. It further provides the things that are supposed to be found in the first aid kits. It shall have triangular bandages, a scissors or blade, or needle and thread, antiseptic or alcohol or cotton, safety pins or tweezers or medicine droppers, soap and gloves, medicines for fever, headache, body pains, for diarrhea or stomach ache, for cough, and eye wash. Fourth, your school conducts regular evacuation drills for earthquake, fire, flooding, or tsunami. The manual specifies that schools should hold quarterly drills simulating realistic conditions of earthquake events to reinforce training and to test the adequacy of plans and safety assessments, as this quarterly earthquake drill in schools is a presidential directive to raise the level of awareness of pupils or students on what to do before, during, and after an earthquake. The manual also provides that as part of the school disaster risk reduction management program, the school administrator shall coordinate with the local disaster coordinating council in providing safety training or drill exercises for staff and pupils or students in case of earthquake, fire, flooding, or tsunami for schools along the coastline. Fifth, your school has duly assigned personnel in charge of securing its premises, its properties, and those of its pupils and teachers. And sixth, your school coordinates with the barangay and local authorities to ensure the safety and protection of your learners. The fifth and sixth are interconnected. For the schools division Bislig City, schools usually have building guards who are hired by the schools through memorandums of agreement, and those who hired by the city. Schools are also known to have sought the help of the government units of the barangay insofar as security measures are concerned. That is all for the part of the engineers. We hope you understood our presentation and that you share the same vision with us and join us in guaranteeing that our learners get to enjoy safe and protective spaces. Thank you so much for listening attentively. Should you have questions, you may address them to us during the open forum. We now give the screen back to Ma'am Mercy Huralbar.